What's up guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about actual real-world graphics card prices. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you're probably aware that there is an ongoing global GPU shortage that's been going on since about mid to late 2020. However, I've been talking mostly about the things that might be changing the prices on the back end, whether that might be the effects of cryptocurrency, Ethereum moving to proof of stake, supply chain issues that are sort of continuing to have its ups and downs. But what I'm going to talk about today is the actual prices that you might pay if right now you just wanted to go and buy a graphics card.
Excellent!
Don't judge the new Corsair K65 RGB Mini keyboard by its size. It's packed with features like genuine Cherry MX mechanical key switches in red or speed silver and 1.5mm PBT double shot keycaps. The 60% layout and detachable braided USB Type-C cable make it easy to take on the go. Function keys allow easy access to lighting modes, profiles, macros, media, and more. And the Axon processor provides 8,000 Hz hyper-polling while simultaneously driving up to 20-layer RGB backlighting effects. Click the sponsor link in the description for more on the Corsair K65 RGB Mini.
So let's start off with a TLDR, and there it is. I've made a spreadsheet. It's right here. That is basically all the data that I'm going to be sharing and going over today. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't worry. I will be going over how I arrange things and what I'm going to be showing you. But just so you're aware, my focus today is going to be on current generation NVIDIA graphics cards. That's the RTX 30 series, as well as current generation AMD cards, which is the Radeon RX 6000 series. Now, a few things to mention before I dive into this chart. One is that I'm mostly going to be focusing on US prices. I'm sorry I can't make this global or international. That would just add a lot of complication. Two is that there are basically three prices to consider when you're looking at how much a graphics card costs. There's the launch price, also known as MSRP. This is the price that the manufacturer, whether it's AMD or NVIDIA, says, hey, we have developed this product, we know how much it costs us to create it, to manufacture and ship it. This is how much we think we can sell it for. That's a reasonable price for the consumer that also makes sure we still make money. These are the prices that we would like to pay, and these are the prices that have just been sort of a pipe dream for the past 9 months to a year because of the shortage, especially with stuff like the RTX 3080, which you should be able to get for about $700. I'm focusing on Newegg pricing for my comparisons, although I will be bringing Amazon into this as well. That's not to say these are the only places you can buy graphics cards in the US, but Newegg has a very good drill down pricing information, so you can go ahead and sort by actual GPU type in order to see what they have in stock. So right now we're looking at RTX 3060s that are sold by Newegg, and here's where I want to go back to that fact that there are basically three prices for a graphics card right now. There is the MSRP, and you can still find the listings for MSRP, like the RTX 3060 should MSRP for $330. I find these MSRP listings to mostly be placeholders though. They are rarely, if ever, actually in stock for this price, and I would be curious to see Newegg's actual sales numbers for like the MSRP products, how many of those they actually bring in versus the higher price ones. That said, the next step up from MSRP is going to be the actual sale price that cards are going for, because you might notice the MSRP prices down here of $330 jump up pretty quickly to $400, $450, $500 and more, which is a pretty decent markup when you consider the base price of this card. And you might also notice that these are all out of stock, because right now I have this little button toggled, sold by Newegg. So I am only seeing cards that are actually stocked and sold directly by Newegg, and Newegg, for what it's worth, does stay more towards the MSRP side. That said, things have gotten a little out of hand with the current shortage, and markups over MSRP, even for just like a graphics card that has maybe a slightly fancier cooler, you would never have seen $150 markups on a $300-ish, $350-ish card if you go back to normal times when stuff is generally in stock. So the second value of these cards is that slightly more expensive price that still legitimate retailers think they can sell them for. What can they get away with in the current market where prices are generally so high? But these prices are still well below what I would call the third price category, which is street prices. And that's what these cards are selling for on the street, either by marketplace sellers on websites like Amazon or Newegg, or on secondary sales sites like eBay and other auction sites like that. So with that said, here's how I've kind of accounted for those three price tiers on my little spreadsheet here, and we'll use the RTX 3060 for an example. Note at the top here, I've got Newegg, and then further over to the right, I've got Amazon listed as well. And my first question is it in stock? As in stock at Newegg if you have this sold by Newegg checkbox checked or turned on. The second question is, do they have MSRP listings? And the answer is pretty much yes across the board for that. But like I said, the MSRP listings there's usually like 1 or 2 cards for MSRP, and these are never ever actually in stock. The ones that come into stock are all the more expensive, higher priced ones. So while that is useful to have sort of as a reference, for Newegg, I went with the second lowest price when I'm listing this right here, which is this column right here, which is how much is Newegg selling it for directly, but not that sort of faux MSRP price, the second lowest priced basically, which as you can see here in this column is anywhere from about 16.7% to 33.3% over the MSRP prices. However, these prices don't really matter as much because I'm mainly putting them here for reference, because if this video gets some decent feedback on it and you guys like it and hit the thumbs up button and all that good stuff, I'll come back to it next month and I can use this as a basis for comparison to show, is Newegg shifting their prices downward at all as hopefully prices continue to go down over the course of the rest of this year. So I added links to those cards, and then the next thing I did was I went and switched this off. That's going to give us all the marketplace sellers as well as Newegg. And it's important to note the difference between a marketplace seller and buying directly from the online retailer that you're purchasing from. Whether you're talking about Newegg or Amazon, they both have marketplace sellers, and marketplace sellers are just a lot more likely to do stuff that seems maybe a little bit shady, or to overprice stuff, or to do really high prices on shipping. However, as of right now, marketplace sellers are often the only sellers, at least on Newegg in particular, that actually have the product available for sale. Like if I just wanted to buy it right now. Interestingly, there weren't really any marketplace sales for RTX 3060s, but if there are, I did a link to it and put how much over MSRP those are selling for as well. And these prices, as compared to the Newegg prices, are actually, like, you can add these to cart and you can check out and buy it right now. Finally, I look for the same GPU on Amazon, just looking for the lowest price possible. Didn't put quite as many categories here on Amazon because, like I said, Amazon is just a lot harder to navigate, and it's also a little bit more confusing with Amazon. They have ships from and sold by just like Newegg, but Amazon also has a bunch of warehouses where they let people send products to, and it's just more confusing. So for Amazon, my question was just more like, can you buy it directly from Amazon? And if you can, what's the lowest price on that particular GPU that you can get? So that's how I've laid things out today. So now I'm just gonna go down this list one card at a time and share the info with you to find out if you want to buy a graphics card right now, and you can't do any of the extra steps needed like entering the Newegg shuffle and hoping to win, or waiting in line at a retail store overnight, or just hoping that you luck out and access a website right when stock replenishes in like the 5-second window before they sell out, what could you actually buy right now? I was already using the RTX 3060 as an example, but here is the Newegg listings once again. A couple cards listed at MSRP of $330. The next step up in pricing is about $400, and I don't know why I jumped from there and I skipped over this EVGA $350 card, but I guess you could group that with the MSRP cards a little bit. But $400 and up is kind of what Newegg is listing most of these cards at. And note that the $400 price is already considered good enough for being Newegg Shuffle eligible, as you can see right there. Meanwhile, though, if you head over to Amazon, because there were no third-party listings, no marketplace listings on Newegg for RTX 3060s at all, $844 is the price you'd have to pay right there, and these are selling out. Actually, there were 8 in stock when I first looked this up, then it was 4, now it's down to 2, so they are selling at that price. That's why I also grabbed this one, which is an MSI model, the Gaming X, and this one is about $25 more or so at $869. So Newegg's out-of-stock listing is about 21.2% over MSRP. There is no stock listed on Newegg third party, and then over on Amazon you got $846. That's only a 156.4% markup over the $330 list price, so that's pretty significant there. Moving on to the RTX 3060 Ti, this one should sell for $400. You can see there's a couple listed there. Again, these are the MSRP decoys, as I like to call them. The next highest price is $480, and then it goes to $500, $520, $550, and so on and so forth. What's the highest price? Highest price they think they can get for this is double MSRP, and that just makes you think like, oh wow, Gigabyte's Vision OC cooler is worth as much as just a base graphics card itself. That's why it's legit to charge double the price for that. Here again, a couple things have bounced around since I did my research. So there's actually a couple cards at $480 and $500. I actually posted this one, which is $520. Plus $10 shipping, by the way. It is at least sold and shipped by Newegg, but of course out of stock unless you can luck out in the shuffle. There are some marketplace sellers selling 3060 Ti's. The least expensive one is, that Vision OC. $1,117 for that, sold and shipped by PC Power Marketplace. And here's another thing that you need to consider if you're looking at third-party sellers. This is gonna ship from Hong Kong. If it's gonna ship from China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Canada even, it might take 2 weeks plus to arrive to you. So keep in mind where it's shipping from, and then also keep in mind how much the shipping cost is. If I turn off sold by Newegg here so we can see other marketplace sellers, you can be like, oh, there's a 3060 Ti here selling for only $900. Wait, what? I was trying to show how shipping can be really exorbitant, but actually some more, like these new GPUs are popping up in the brief time it took between when I researched all this stuff and shot this video, so that's also something to keep in mind. Things are fluctuating very quickly here, so I now have this Gigabyte Gaming 3060 Ti, which is $900. Let me update my chart. Well, that's better. Nice thing is I can do this on the fly to update that. So that's now been updated to $900. Note, by the way, however, that my Amazon listing price was also $900. So that is a price that was much higher on Newegg, even from a marketplace seller, that has dropped down to $900. And that's probably just to compete with this Amazon price, because there is lots of competition between Newegg and Amazon to get the best price on GPUs. And the fact that that price for the cheapest RTX 3060 Ti sold by a marketplace seller on Newegg went down rather than up, I will consider to be a good thing. Here is the 3060 Ti that I found over on Amazon. Again, only 8 left in stock here, so these do appear to be selling for $900, but that's the EVGA for the Win 3. That's a good version of that card. In either case, you're still paying 125% of MSRP, because the MSRP is supposed to be $400, but you know, it's better than it was before. Next, we have the RTX 3070. RTX 3070 MSRP is for $500. Next up at Newegg is $600 for, again, one that's out of stock, and then it goes to $620 and so on. Again, this is the price that you might pay if you happened to win the Newegg Shuffle for this card, but if you weren't lucky enough to do that, how much would you have to pay otherwise? The cheapest RTX 3070 available on Newegg, sold and shipped by Crambu, is $941, at least as of right now. This one at least ships from the US 3 to 7 days out. Meanwhile, the cheapest 3070 at Amazon is $1150. Gosh, that's really expensive. Did that price go up? Nope, $1150. That's the same price that I had it for right there. So it looks like I do need to update the Newegg, $941. So I'm going to accept that as good news yet again. $1,010 updated to $941. That is a decent, you know, it took the price from 102% above MSRP down to 88.2% above MSRP. And again, the fact that that just happened like today, right now, further indication to me that prices are going down for these cards, so that's cool. But let me go back to that shipping thing I was mentioning briefly before when prices started to change. So if I'm looking at marketplace sellers yet again, and I'm trying to look for the cheapest price, I might see a price over here like, oh, $941. Special shipping. I don't exactly know what special shipping means, but hopefully it means it's not horribly expensive. This one is only $860, but look at the stupid marketplace seller charging $200 for shipping on that. So that's another thing that you should look out for. That again, it's just much more common with marketplace sellers. It's deceptive, it's stupid. They are paying way less for this than shipping. They're just trying to trick you into thinking that they're selling the card for less than what it is. So consider the total cost of the price of the graphics card plus shipping if you're looking at all this together. I found lots of these $80 shipping things as well. But there's your RTX 3070 report. Price was 100% or more over MSRP, and now it's dropped down to 88% for $941 is the cheapest one I found. Let's look at the elusive 3070 Ti next. Again, MSRP should be $600 for this card. Again, Newegg immediately jumping that price up by not $100, but $200. $800 is the cheapest one other than these decoy MSRP cards that they have. A significant markup. The most expensive one on Newegg that's sold by Newegg is $1,100. Again, just verifying that's $200 markup for this Gigabyte Eagle cooler that they're charging for that. But MSI's Ventus RTX 3070 Ti is the cheapest one that's actually available for sale, sold by Light Electronic, shipping from China, $917. And yet again, one that has been updated in the hour or two since I put all of these together. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. I was just tricked. See? Tricked me too. $200 shipping for that stupid thing. So the stupid marketplace sellers and their shady shipping stuff confused me a little bit there, but it does seem like I was pretty close on with that price. It might have dropped by $10, so $1,109 is still the lowest price that you'd have to pay for a 3070 Ti if you bought it on Newegg. A little bit higher price on Amazon, $1,170 for one of those cards over there. Next, we have the lustworthy RTX 3080, probably the best bang for the buck, or at least a serious contender for that if you could buy it for $700. Imagine if 3080s were readily available for $700. Wouldn't that be a wonderful world? Anyway, though, the next step up is $820 for this EVGA, and then it jumps up to $875, $900, $1,000 plus after that. Most expensive one on Newegg is Zotac for $1,400. That's absurd. Again, these listings weren't appearing earlier today, so you are going to have to pay a markup over MSRP, even if they do come back in stock, but Newegg shuffle pricing, of course. And then here is the cheapest RTX 3080 that you can buy from a marketplace seller on Newegg, $1,576. Whew. Again, shipping from China. And we're in a similar ballpark over on Amazon for an RTX 3080. They have the Zotac Gaming for $1,636. Both very expensive prices, 125% of the MSRP on Newegg and 135.7% of the MSRP on Amazon. Just a couple more NVIDIA cards left. We have the RTX 3080 Ti. 3080 Ti came out later in the shortage, which meant that NVIDIA was much bolder with their retail pricing, which means $1,200 for the MSRP was already pretty significantly marked up, especially if you compare it to the RTX 3080's price of $500 less than that. Even with that said, we yet again have a $200 price jump for the cheapest 3080 Ti, and then it goes up from there, maxing out at $2,000 for the Asus ROG Strix variant. Checking out marketplace sellers, the cheapest one I found was from eConnect. Again, shipping from China, $1,858 for that one, which is a pretty penny. Actually get a better price. Go over to Amazon if you want to buy a super marked up 3080 Ti, $1,822, which means that our Newegg markup was 55.2%, and our Amazon markup was 51.8%. And this seems less, again, compared to the other market percentages, at least percentage over MSRP. But again, that's because the MSRP for the 3080 Ti already started pretty inflated from the get-go. And now the big daddy, the RTX 3090 MSRP for $1,500, which you can see one of right there, and then it jumps from there. It seems relatively not as bad when you're starting at $1,500, I guess, but $1,640 is the second cheapest, the EVGA Black. Then from there, it's $1,875 or more, and it pretty quickly gets up over $2,000. Here again, I feel like Newegg was tricking me with its listings earlier today by not showing all of the out-of-stock pricing for those, but here's somewhere in the ballpark for your Newegg MSRP, like quote-unquote MSRP pricing. And then if you want to actually buy one from Newegg from a marketplace seller, we have Crambu selling the Zotac Trinity for $2,855. That's a lot of money yet again. And again, over on Amazon, you got a better deal, $2,650. What a steal, what a bargain for the MSI Gaming X Trio variant of the 3090. I feel like I should update my base price here, and I'm not sure whether or not I should count the EVGA Black for $1,640, or if I should jump up to this $1,875. I'm gonna jump up to $1,875. I'm gonna count the EVGA Black as a decoy MSRP, which I guess doesn't change our pricing there too much. We're still 25% over MSRP for the Newegg list price. We're at 90.5% of MSRP for the Newegg marketplace, 76.7% over MSRP for Amazon. Let's move down to the AMD cards, starting with the RX 6700 XT, which should MSRP for $480. If we're looking at Newegg, sold by Newegg stuff, we actually have one here. So here is the difference between the Newegg NVIDIA listings and the Newegg AMD listings that I found a little bit interesting. I found more in stock actually sold by Newegg listings for AMD cards. However, they're being sold at like your scalper prices, your significant markup. So as a result, when I first started looking at these, I was like, oh, they don't have any listed for MSRP, but that wasn't true. They were just down here because they listed it out of stock. So Newegg does have $480 6700 XTs listed. However, again, I feel like these are kind of decoys, although there are more of them, but this is just the reference design, so maybe that's why. Point being though, you can directly from Newegg buy a super overpriced 6700 XT. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, I will leave that up to your discretion to figure out, but I mean, at least it ships from Newegg from within the US and everything, but there's the cheapest 6700 XT for $910. Whoa, did that go down even more? $866. So do note for my Newegg pricing, this column right here, there's a different criteria. I have the second lowest, quote unquote, second lowest price listed for all these NVIDIA cards, even though they're not actually in stock. Here, I listed the lowest in-stock price shipped from and sold by Newegg, and then for marketplace sellers, I only listed a marketplace seller price if it happened to be below or less than the Newegg price, because why would you buy from a marketplace seller when you can just buy for Newegg? Although again, we should scold Newegg for selling them for so much money, but that's how I did that. So you can see the $910 price there, and then this also just went down. It was $900, and it has now dropped to $866 over on Amazon. So I guess if you want a 6700 XT, this XFX Speedster Quick $319 is only $866. Although again, this is a marketplace seller. RE Cosmetics. See, look, this is what happens in this situation. You have a cosmetics reseller on Amazon listing graphics cards just because they know they can make money off of them. But at least it's the lowest priced for right now for a 6700 XT. That's an additional 80.4% on top of MSRP for that card. Let's move down to the RX 6800. Here yet again, we have listings directly from Newegg that are right there on top, although again, they're very, very expensive. 6800 should sell for $580. There are our decoys at, well, I guess it's $590 and $600, but 10 or 20 bucks, we're not gonna split hairs over that. Meanwhile, though, our cheapest sold by Newegg is $1,160. Oh no, this is updated again. Oh, look, we have another late pricing change here. So again, I had to update my list there, but I had to update it for the better, as this Power Color Red Dragon is now on sale for $1,160, available to add to cart, sold from and shipped by Newegg, which is replacing my $1,250 Gigabyte Aorus RX 6800. That also means that the Newegg listing is cheaper than the cheapest marketplace seller that I pulled up, which was about $1,237. And it also means that that's cheaper than what Amazon has available. They had the Tough here for $1,280, although again, only 2 left in stock, and this did have more earlier, so I think those are selling. The next highest one in Amazon was the 6800 Master, and that was $1,400. So I feel like I should go back here to Newegg's listings, switch sold by Newegg off, and then just update our prices. Again, so nothing has dipped down too much below this Power Color card, but this Power Color card is $90 less than the cheapest 6800 that I found earlier today. And again, only a 100% markup over MSRP there. So, you know, again, grain of salt and all, but still, at least things are moving in the right direction. Here's our 6800 XT listings. Again, we have the out of stock requisite $650 model here, and then we have an actual ship from and sold by Newegg one here for $1,320. And I guess you gotta pay 10 bucks for shipping with that as well. So $1,320 for a 6800 XT, that's still quite expensive, but it is less expensive than what you have to pay over on Amazon for one of these, which is almost $1,500. That's very expensive. And once again, I'm gonna reality check the Newegg third-party marketplace listings by refreshing that, and it looks like none of the marketplace sellers have realized that Newegg is undercutting them and come back to drop their prices too. That's what we need. We need a continuing price war between all these people. And so nobody buy. No, did I mention that yet? Nobody buy any of these cards at these prices. But here's our last GPU, the 6900 XT, and here, these MSRP for $1,000. Decent markup. $1,869 is the Sapphire Nitro Plus variant of this, shipped from and sold by Newegg. $1,870 for that, plus 10 bucks shipping. Although if we look at marketplace sellers as well, we do have one for a little bit less than that at just shy of $1,800. $1,795 for the Gigabyte Gaming OC. Listed right here, although again, shipping from Hong Kong. So keep that in mind as well. It will take a little bit longer to ship than the Sapphire card, but like I said just a minute ago, don't buy any of these cards for the prices they're currently selling for. We want them to not sell for these prices so that these retailers have to keep lowering the prices. Right now, we're 87% on top of MSRP for the ones sold by Newegg. Oh, and the cheapest one available on Amazon was $1,900, so that's also about 90% over MSRP. So to round things out here, these columns are the ones that I would like to compare in the future if you guys would like me to continue doing this maybe on a monthly basis for the next few months as hopefully prices continue to drop. And I want to see the percentage over MSRP relative to the MSRP, and if these numbers go down. And then the closer they get to 0% over MSRP, the better, of course. Meanwhile, although like I said, I do not recommend anyone buys any of these graphics cards for these ridiculously marked up prices. We need people to not buy. Like if the interest for miners is way down, so miners aren't willing to pay overpriced prices, and gamers also, like Solidarity, wait together and don't buy graphics cards either at these prices, then they'll have to keep dropping the prices so people keep buying them. So even though these are some of the kind of best quote-unquote prices that you can actually go and buy these for at MSRP without doing, like I said, a bunch of extra legwork, I don't actually recommend buying an RTX 3060 for $846, a 3060 Ti for $900, a 3070 for $941, or the 6700 XT for $866. Bear in mind that the 6700 XT is going to be about 5 to 10% faster than the 3060 Ti when it comes to strict rasterization performance, unless you're super into ray tracing. But why am I even talking about that? Because you shouldn't be buying these cards at these prices anyway. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for my GPU pricing index video, where I look at what you can actually buy graphics cards for at retail right now with ready availability. They are out there. They are still overpriced. Prices, as evidenced even today, are coming down. So there is hope for the future, I think. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Also check out my store at paulshardware.net where you can buy shirts, mugs, pint glasses, and my beer glasses, which are like, they're arriving this week. We have a whole new set of them coming in, so keep an eye out for those. They make a great pairing with my coasters and my bottle openers. Thanks again for watching this video, you guys. We'll see you in the next one.